So in the previous chapter, we have covered the for versus the while loop. Well, we know that we can break loops using the main condition in a while or exhausting the for loop. That's one way of breaking it, the natural way of breaking it. But somewhere within the loop, if you want to break it for some reason, how do you do it? But before we understand how the syntax works, let me give you a scenario. Say there are a sequence of numbers. Now, we're not saying sequence of numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is an order to it, but a sequence of numbers that have a different relation. Let's say the Fibonacci series, right? 0, 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, so on and so forth. Here we want to find out if 8 is a Fibonacci number. That is the problem. We want to find out if 8 is a Fibonacci number or not. Well, when we come to data structures, we'll find out better ways of doing it. But until that point, if you don't know any specific data structure, all you have is a list of numbers. How do you know if 8 is a Fibonacci series or not? The only way to find out if you don't have a special algorithm is by iterating through each of the elements in the data set, right? So you look at the first number. Is it an 8? No. You look at this second number. Is it an 8? No. And you keep going on until you hit 8. And this is 8. Okay, we got the correct number. Now what do? You don't have to go forward, right? You found your answer. You stop right there and break the loop, right? If we were to write this using a while statement, there are a couple of ways to do it. Probably you'll write something like this. While, say you set up a flag, while found equals false, or let's say not underscore found equals true. Okay, so you set up a flag and say while not underscore found. So that means we did not find it yet. As long as that is true, you do the iteration. I'm not writing the code here, but you just do the iteration. And if found, if you find that number, then you set not underscore found to be equal to true or false. And then the next time the iteration goes to the while loop for checking, it will find out that not found underscore found is false, and then it exits the while loop. So this is one way of breaking the while loop. This you're already aware of. I'm not talking about this way of breaking the loop. I'm talking about a situation where you don't even have to set the flag. If for some reason, say for example, if you don't want to write it like this, instead you don't want this flag variable, okay? You just say while true, meaning it will go on infinitely forever. In this case, you should be able to still break it because the loop can't go on forever, right? You still should be able to break it, meaning there should be some statement that says, okay, I have iterated it, and then finally I have found what I want, and then finally I'm going to say break. This is similar to the C program break, exactly the same way, or the Java programming break state. Anytime you want to break a loop without using flag variables or without exhausting the sequence that you are supposed to iterate through, you can use the break statement. It's just another way to break the while loop. It's not the only. So the way the while loop and the break statement works, or for that matter the for loop, is you have a while statement and you have the condition, right? And this could be an infinite loop until you found out what you want, right? So this is the part of the program within the while loop where you search for what you want. And once you have found what you want, once you are satisfied that you are no longer need this loop, then you execute the break statement. So typically the break will be inside an if statement. If found, or if I have found what I want, then break. And as soon as Python hits the break statement, then everything underneath it within that while block will not be executed. So this will not be executed, and on top of that, the while statement or the while loop is broken. So this break statement does a couple of things. First thing, stops looping. Second thing, stops or rather does not execute the loop further. So there are two things the break statement does. It stops the while loop and then on top of that make sure that anything under the break statement is not executed. Now does it mean the program stops executing? No. The program continues after the while loop. So while is probably not the only statement, right? So you have while loops, for loops, and then some print statements. You have so many things in the program. Everything within that level of indentation or the block within the while stops executing and the program resumes here after the while block. So that's the break statement. So let's see an example. Let's code an example in the system.